Routes are an important part of the new Florida Shorebird database. In addition to collecting data about sites throughout the state, routes allow our researchers to look at coverage and identify key areas where additional effort may be needed. Where partnerships exist, we strongly encourage them to pre-establish agreed-upon routes prior to the nesting season that they can share with all members of their partnership. It is important to run a route at least one time during each of the windows for surveys. Please consult the Florida Shorebird database website for more information about these windows. Let's start by creating a new route. After logging in, scroll to your My Routes box. Here you'll see a button titled Create New Route. Select this button. This brings you to the Establish New Route page. You establish new routes in a very similar fashion to colonial and solitary sites. You again have two options to enter your route points. The first option is to click on the Google map to capture the points, and the second option is if you have GPS coordinates, you can manually enter these. Let's use the Capture Clicks feature to create a new route. I'd like to create a route near Destin, Florida, so I'll use the Zoom Map To feature. Once the map is loaded, I can zoom in and pan around until I find my route location. Then I simply select the Capture Clicks button. Again, use single left clicks on the map to capture points that you would like to be a part of your route. You'll notice that as I'm creating my points, my sites have loaded on the map. These are there to aid you in creating your route and can be hidden using the checkboxes below the map. It is also important to remember that if you like, you can refine the location of your points by dragging them around on the map. Once you are satisfied with your route points, you only have a few short steps left to create your route. You must provide a route name. This is something that should be descriptive of the route and unique. You'll note that there has been a county prefix added. Optionally, you may submit a route description that describes the location, how to access it, or any other important information. After you hit the Submit button and your route has been added, you'll see you have three options. The first is to add nest sites to the route. The second is to enter another route. And lastly, return to My Data. We'll come back to adding nest sites to the route in a bit. For now, let's return to My Data. You'll note after the page is loaded that your route has been added to your My Routes box and that it also now appears on your map. As mentioned earlier, it is encouraged to use routes that already exist in the Florida Shorebird database. Let's take a look at the Add Existing Route option. Simply select the Add Existing Route to My Data button. To add existing routes, you have two options to search. The first is by site attribute, where you can search by region, county, or user. The second is to search by location. Simply enter in a location and a search radius to use this option. Let's search by site attribute. I'd like to search by region and find routes in the Northwest region. I'll select this from the drop-down and hit the search button. You'll see that the data grid and the map are populated with the search results. You will also see that your sites and routes have been populated on the map. Instead of seeing a site icon, you'll see numbered icons in the table in the second column. If you click on these will zoom into the route. Routes that are unselected are yellow, but if you select the checkbox, they will turn red. You can select as many routes as you would like, and you'll see that they change colors as you select the checkbox. Also, you can go to the map and click on the icons to get more information about the route. You can also zoom to the route or select or unselect the route. Once you've selected the routes you'd like to add, simply select the Add to My Routes box. You'll see they are removed from the data grid and that your map is updated and they are now members of your profile. Let's return to My Data. You will see that these two have been added to your My Routes box and also to your map. Let's now take a look at how to add sites to a route. There are a number of different ways to add sites to routes. Let's look at the My Data page. You'll see there's a column titled Add Sites. Let's select this option. Once your My Data page is loaded, you'll see that sites near your route are populated both in a grid and on the map. The table is very similar. If you click on the icons, you can zoom to sites that are on the map. The checkboxes to the left are used to select sites that you'd like to add to your route. You may also interact with the map and click on site icons to get more information and select sites. Again, selected sites are highlighted in red. You may select as many sites as you would like on this page. After you have found the sites you would like to add, simply click the Add Selected Sites button. You will see they're removed from the data grid, and they also now show up on the map as members of your profile. After adding existing sites to your route, you can add new sites by selecting the Create New Sites on Route button. The first thing that you must do is specify the type of site that you would like to create. Let's create a new solitary site on our route. Just like before, you have two options to create a new site. The first is to select points by clicking on the map, and the second is to enter in GPS coordinates. I'm going to create my new site by using the Capture Click option. Just like before, I'll zoom in to the location of my site. Once I have found it, I'll use the Capture Click button and then make a single left click on the map at the location of my site. Always remember that you can drag the icon around to refine its location. Once you are satisfied with the location of your site, scroll down to provide some site details before submitting the site. As always, a county is appended to the site name along with a unique number. Enter in a unique site name that identifies a site in the area. You'll also note that the Add to My Route drop-down list is now populated with the route that we selected. Enter in a species, and optionally you can enter in a site description. Hit the Submit button, and your site has now been added to your route. You'll see you now have two options, to enter another site or to return to My Data. If you have more sites to enter, you can select Enter Another Site. Otherwise, let's return to your data. You'll see that your sites have now been added to your My Sites box, and that also the sites have been added to your My Map and are associated with your route. Whenever possible, you are encouraged to use routes to record your data, as this will improve the overall data collected by the Florida Shorebird database.